All right, so my apologies. This is part three. In part two, I never got to the point. I rewatched it and I realized I never got to the point about how does Einstein believe in ether, but his equations prove that ether doesn't exist. Well, that's just it. Einstein didn't release his equations with the intent to disprove that ether existed. The moment that Einstein found out that certain high ups in the scientific community wanted to now go down this quantum theory as well as string theory roads, and they were going to go down this way, and they now are going to create photons and all this other stuff and spooky what's it called, spooky interaction at a distance. I forget what it's called. The double slit experiment, all these different things where they start saying that there's no ether and that it's something else. Ether explains the double slit experiment. Most people don't understand that. The paradox of the double slit experiment vanishes the moment that you reintroduce ether. And you say, no, Brandon, because when you observe, and really I should keep this classified because this is how you unprove every scientific lecture about the double slit experiment. So I'm starting to realize the magnitude, and that I've been very lucky to not have a super big following. I almost think that my YouTube channel being taken down and me starting over was kind of like a blessing in disguise. I think that if you expose these bigger truths that are kept secret, aka sacred, you fall into the Antichrist category, where you are a fool for, releasing this information. Okay? Because you have to realize we're on a planet with people who want to go shoot up schools. We're on a planet with people who drink and drive. We're on a planet with people who clap for people to go kill people in the Middle East who they've never even met before in their lives, don't even ask them their names, just get pissed off when they raise their gun at us when we're driving through their field. And we don't realize that if somebody drives through our field in Indiana, we're allowed to raise our gun at them. Okay? Do unto others as you've had do unto you, Jesus. Okay, all these different things. But anyway, it's just, I'm so sick of the hypocrisy. I'm so sick of tolerating and quote unquote, I don't want to say I don't want to respect people anymore, but I think I show people too much respect is really what it comes down to. They show me too little and I show them way too fucking much. I don't call people out the way that they call me out. They shut me down so fucking fast. I don't call these people out and say, dude, you're a fucking scumbag. Like, do you not understand that you are a fucking degenerate masses slave category jackfuck? Like, does it not dawn on you why Nancy Pelosi and Biden and these people who run the world and the people that they actually answer to who run the world view you as a fucking subspecies? I mean, I really want to get back to the basic understanding of physics. If you don't know what F equals ma means and you can't apply that, you are a subspecies. Now, if you say, well, I'm only one physics class away from knowing what it means, take the fucking class, bitch. Like, really take the class. Because if you cannot calculate F equals ma, if you don't understand that every object here in reality can currently be mathematically calculated very simply, how fast it's going to accelerate in any given direction via the accumulation of vectors using triangle geometry, where you say, okay, I got a vector force going this way, I got a vector force going this way, I got a vector force going this way. We got gravity going this way, we got friction from the tires going this way, we got friction from the tires also going straight back. Okay, so we got lateral G's and we got straight back force because we're hitting the brakes. If you don't understand that that's all there is to calculating the movement of a vehicle, okay, or an aircraft, or a space rocket, which is how we get shit to the moon, you're a fucking subspecies, buddy. Like, I don't know how else to tell you that. You are a fucking joke. I don't want to hear your objections when it comes to physics. You haven't even fucking taken kindergarten yet. You don't even know 2 + 2 = 4, and you think you're going to school me on physics. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I got people in my life who are preaching that they have these new light devices that are going to heal people, and they don't even know what fucking F equals ma means. Okay? Shut the fuck up for a little bit. Well, I thought you were going to tell me I'm stupid and blah, 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 blah. When have I ever come right out and said you're fucking stupid? Well, you don't say I'm stupid, but in a polite way, that's what you mean. That's not my fucking problem. I can't even fucking candy coat it with you guys. I can't even say you need to learn some basic physics. Oh, you think I'm stupid? Yeah, no shit. Because you are. God, fuck. It's unfucking real, people. Okay, 99% of the population falls into this category. I don't know what to do. It's a paradox. I don't know what to do. I don't know if the answer is to try to get people to take the next step and understand physics, or if that's not what we want, because that's definitely not what religions teach. Religions don't teach F equals MA. They say, here's a book with total truth inside. You don't need any more than this. And when you thumb through that book, aka the Bible, the New Testament and the Old Testament, and the Quran, and this and that, there's no E equals MC squared. There's no F equals MA. There's no gravitational equations. There's no, I thought you said we didn't know what gravity is, Brandon. No, you illiterate fuck. I said we can calculate for gravity, but you don't know what the actual force of gravity is caused by. What did you say? Yeah. If a car runs into a car, each object exerts an equal but opposite, each action equal but opposite reaction. Okay, this is, basic Newtonian physics, right? What people don't understand is gravity is Newtonian physics. But you guys don't know what is exerting the force. Because you guys are know-it-alls. You guys hear a little bit of information and you're so proud that you can regurgitate that information. You're like a parrot on steroids. You have roid rage. You're a fucking parrot on steroids is all that you are. You get a little bit of information in your mind and you think now you want to argue it. Like my mom is the worst. My mom is like a psychopath. Like genuinely, she's nuts. And that's why I have no patience for this, because I've seen where it goes. I've seen that in people's lives as they get into different substances, whether it's prescription medications or drugs or steroids or whatever it is that they take, they fall off the cliff, slip down the slope that my mom slipped down long ago. I'll put up something on Facebook and my mom starts fucking texting me shit about physics and ether and stuff like she's going to teach me. She doesn't have a fucking humble bone in her body to be like, hey, teach me more about physics, Brandon. No, she thinks that she's going to teach me. I have like a fucking restraining order on her at this point, okay? Because I'm so annoyed at how fucking nuts she is and how she thinks she knows everything. And that's pretty much everybody else in life too, to some degree. Because people can't pose logical questions. People can't say, if Einstein believed in ether, then why do his equations disprove ether? Good question. When Einstein released his equations, the scientific community came out and said, this means there's no more ether. Einstein was sick to his stomach. He said, that's not right, guys, because I believe in ether. What you guys don't realize is you're taught two things about Einstein. His equations disprove ether, and you might learn along the way that Einstein has doubts that his equations are accurate. You might have heard Einstein had doubts that his equations are real, but here his equations prove that they're correct again because they predicted this about black holes. Look what Einstein predicted here. Einstein's right. Look what Einstein predicted here. Einstein's right. Einstein is a poster child for anti-etherism, and you guys don't realize why that's so important. You don't realize that the world leaders are scared shitless of you figuring out that there's ether. And they know that you guys are a bunch of jackfucks, arrogant steroid parrots. I got the answer. I read this. I saw this on Discovery Channel, and I actually understood what they said. And now I'm going to override you, Brandon, and tell you what I know about ether. Ask a question. Why did Einstein believe in ether? Well, because there's a lot of experiments, as well as a lot of really smart motherfuckers who invented a lot of shit, aka Tesla and Marconi and all these people who say that they're broadcasting waves across the ether. There's a lot of people whose inventions work because they constructed the inventions to interact with ether, which you mindless jackfucks all sit there and say doesn't exist. Swear to God, I'm on a planet with people so fucking stupid that they believe that the guy who invented the radio tower, Nikola Tesla, was wrong about how the fucking radio tower works. Do you have any idea how fucking arrogant that makes you? No, Brandon, you're the one who's arrogant. I don't think I'm smarter than Tesla. I think Tesla was telling the truth. Now, Tesla's wrong, Brandon. It's disgusting to me. And it's a paradox because it's like, do I want to become famous and shove down everybody's throats how fucking stupid they are? Or is everyone's stupidity proof, I'm going to say this again, that Nancy Pelosi and Biden and the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds and all the people that they answer to up the pyramid of control are correct about you mindless pieces of shit? I can see why the Holy Ghost left you. Okay, believe it or not, it doesn't leave me when I explain this stuff to you guys. It doesn't leave me. It left me when I made a bunch of money. And I finally came to this big conclusion. Like, I went through these big series of questions in my mind. It's like, okay, because it was like, what it was doing is it was proving to me something. And it's hard for me to explain how many days and hours it took of thinking to myself about what was going on. It knew that I'd completely isolated the variable, meaning, okay, this is where you guys are going to think I'm crazy, and I'm sure I am. I was literally sitting in the car with the windows rolled down in this big giant garage every free moment that I got. Just sitting there, a big steel building, just chilling. No music, no communication with anybody. Maybe take a phone call here or there when people call me about something, but just didn't worry about a thing. It gave me money. I made a bunch of money. I had nothing to worry about. I had no job to go to, nothing. I just sat there. Have you ever had enlightened people tell you that you need to go out into nature? What was his name? Thoreau and all these different people during the Enlightenment period, they're all like, you need to go out into nature and you'll realize all these things. It's because, and I started to explain it in part 1 and part 2, when I have people to interact with, I have all these listen to me, Linda, motherfuckers. If I tell you, hey, can you sing me, some song that you don't know that great? Some Dave Matthews Band song. Can you hum it? Yeah, I can do that. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to turn on the ABCDEFG song on full blast through these big amplifier speakers. Now, sing me the Dave Matthews song. And the ants march. You got to turn off the ABCs, dude. No. You said you knew the Dave Matthews song. I'm going to keep the ABCs blaring. You guys, to me, are screaming the fucking ABCs at a million fucking decibels, at 130 decibels. And it's not that makes you guys bad. It's not like, oh, we need to get rid of all the people. It's just you have to realize the trade-off is you have all these fucking people who all have half-truths. And for every ounce of truth, you guys have a pound of fucking bullshit. And that's on purpose, I think. The world leaders don't want you guys to be able to find your way out of a paper bag. And so I can't have a conversation with people where I convey the ounce of truth that was revealed to me. It could be revealed to you too. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why you guys don't want to talk about ether. I don't know why you guys don't know the importance of ether. I don't know why the universe teaches me this shit and says, you need to research Nikola Tesla, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to research the monetary system. Maybe it's as simple as I don't want to sound like a fucking jackfuck who talks about the fucking gold reserve and has no fucking clue what he's talking about. Maybe that's it. I don't want to be embarrassed. I don't know. But the point is, something inside me is different than the rest of you. Something inside me says, I want to actually learn what the fuck I'm talking about. That means I need to look at more than just one angle, one source, one person. I need to keep digging and digging and digging. And do you realize that I didn't find out that Einstein believed in ether until like the last few years? I found it on Facebook. It was a post on Facebook. It was like just one of those random memes. You're scrolling through, there's Einstein. I believe in ether. What? No, you don't. Your equations. Is this a real quote? What? This is a real quote? The reason why Einstein doubted his equation's validity is because he actually believed in ether. Here this whole time, I thought there was a big duel between he and Tesla because Tesla sent Einstein these memos saying, you dumb fuck, there's ether. When in reality, Einstein was never arguing with Tesla. Einstein believed in what Tesla believed in too. Einstein was just saying, hey, there's relativity. You have to declare your relativity to something. If you're moving through outer space or if you think you're sitting still in outer space and something goes whizzing by you, who's moving? I don't know. Relative to Saturn over there, I'm sitting still, you're moving. I'm in orbit around Saturn. I'm stationary around Saturn. You're in orbit the other way. What is your relativity to? Anybody who's ever been sailing and understands wind at water currents, they know that everything's calculated based on relativity. If you're in an airplane, what's your speed to the ground? What's your speed to the ambient air? Two different answers. If you're in the fucking jet stream, your relativity to the air is you might be going 100 miles per hour, but relative to the ground, you're going 500 miles per hour. That's how the jet stream was discovered, because the airplanes found out that their wind speed up in the air was only 100 miles per hour, or whatever it was, and the ground speed was 500 miles per hour. It's because the fucking jet stream was taking them, okay? Sorry I'm getting so mad. It's just, it's disgusting to me that I have to explain this shit to people, but there are morals to what I'm getting at. And I apologize if you're watching this video, you're like, is this guy mad at me? Is he yelling at me? No, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just explaining here. There is definitely a conspiracy to suppress the existence of ether. In the beginning, God said, let there be light, and there was light. Understand something. If ether particles are alive, the same way that cells are alive, the same way that I believe atoms are alive, which is another thing that's kept secret from you, is that atoms are alive. Because if you find out that cells are alive and atoms are alive, and you say, I wonder how the cells communicate, and I wonder how the atoms communicate. See, we communicate through the vibration of atoms. So there's air atoms and molecules between my voice and this speaker microphone on this camera, and then that comes out the speaker microphone on your camera and your phone and comes to your ear, or whatever TV screen you're watching this on. It's vibrating air molecules, okay? But now let's zoom into the air molecule. Let's say now I'm the air molecule. You've zoomed all the way in and you can see the air molecule. Here he is, okay? Just pretend my head is this little ball. And let's say that I happen to be alive. Let's say the electron and the proton and the neutron are each separate life forms, okay? And let's say that that's like a nest, and the electron goes out, gathers food, and brings it back to the nest, which is the true shape of what the electron paths do. This whole, the electrons are in orbit around the atoms, bullshit. It's a lie, and they knew it was a lie from fucking day one, but they said the lie. And you know why they had to say the lie? Because that's the only way that you can say that something would go around and around and around and around indefinitely without any extra energy of input. F equals ma. And since you don't understand F equals ma, it doesn't bother you to understand that the electrons are actually doing this flower petal shape, coming out, going out, coming out, going out. You don't understand that that means that they're exerting energy. Who cares, Brandon? I exert energy every day. And what are you? You're alive and you're eating. And the moment that you understand that your cells are alive and eating on a microscopic scale, and the moment that you understand electrons, neutrons, and protons are alive and eating on the atomic scale, that begs the next question, doesn't it, Jackfucks? What are they eating? You have all this empty space between atoms, supposedly. What are they swimming through? What is the F equals ma equation doing to allow this electron to swim out and swim back? What are the forces that this electron has to be able to move out and away from the proton? What's he swimming against? Air. No, the electron is air. It is the air atom. Water. Wrong. Water is atoms. The electron is part of the water. Well, you know what I mean, Brandon. There's something smaller. Yeah, I do know what you mean, because I fucking invented the fucking principle, didn't I? No one taught me this. Then I find out the fucking Greeks believed it too. I find out that the deeper and deeper I dug, the more I found out that what was revealed to me through just meditation and just thinking to myself, it wasn't like, it was just sitting there thinking to myself, like, I wonder how this works. Universe is like, answer. Answer. So is it like this? No. Is it like this? No. Is it like this? Yahtzee. You got it. The universe will answer you if you get in touch with it. Now, there's a lot of fucking people on this planet who don't believe that that's possible. They're highly offended because they don't have it within them. I don't know what to say. I don't know where to begin with you. I went to a ton of fucking church growing up. I took it very fucking seriously, while the rest of you are all sitting there like, okay, so this is just like to try to like make us good people so we don't all kill each other. Okay, I get that. Okay, cool. Okay, but I don't really believe there's God. I don't really believe God's going to talk to me, because I said my prayer and I said, hey, God, bless me so I win the lottery tomorrow, and it didn't happen. So obviously God's not real. Obviously. I said, God, make it so that I don't wreck my car, and I still fucking wrecked. Obviously God's not real. And then I said, hey, God, why'd you let that person die? Why'd you let that person die? God's not real. God doesn't care about us. God... Do you have any concept, the gift of life that you've been given? The chance to exist, this realm that we're in, where you get to play a game? No, because you stupid fuckers are all too preoccupied talking about perfection and heaven. And one day I'm going to get to go to heaven. It's going to be perfect. And I'm going to be Jesus' best friend. Okay. And me and Jesus can be right there. And then all the other billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of people who've existed on this planet and all the other planets and everything, you guys are going to be over there. And it's be me and Jesus side by side. We're best friends. It's perfect. And so, that's what you guys believe in, unfortunately. And that's where your IQs end, apparently. And therefore, you don't even understand the whole concept of perfection is flawed. Like, let's talk about our flaws. I got to take a leak. It's annoying. I don't need to take a leak if I'm perfect. I have to find food and pay for food. I don't have to eat food if I'm perfect. I can just exist. So let's get rid of it. Let's say that I'm perfect. Let's say that you're perfect, because otherwise your ego is going to like, Okay, you're perfect, cream puff, okay? You're perfect. Everything else is flawed. That's what I've been trying to tell you guys. So you're perfect, everything else is flawed, and so we're going to get rid of all the flawed things. Is the dirt flawed? Yes, the dirt is flawed because it's dirty. Okay, good. Is that tree flawed? Yeah, the tree's flawed because it can't run as fast as me. Good, get rid of the trees. Is the mailbox flawed? Yeah, because it's a federal crime if I open up someone else's. Yeah, get rid of that. Okay, so we go through, we destroy everything, and it's just you. And you're like, yeah, I don't even need these legs anymore because I'm just floating in black space. I'm perfect. Just make me Tinkerbell. Just make me this thing of light where I sparkle. I'm so sparkly. And so you're sitting there, and it's you in black space and nothing else. Because everything else is flawed except for you. And there you are for eternity. Existing. Perfection. I never get too hot. I never get too cold. I know everything. I know everything there is to know. And that's the end. That's the end. Time to just exist for eternity now. Tinkerbell. So the moment that you realize that's perfection, is that there's no flaws, then you come back to reality of, this is going to get really fucking boring. And then all of a sudden you go have a chat with Jesus and God, and you say, hey, it's really cool being perfect, but now I want to go back into a game where things can happen. I can fall and hit my shin on the boat trailer and cut my shin wide open when I'm 8 years old. I can and have to go get stitches, and it's going to hurt real bad. I'm going to cry, and I'm bleeding real bad, and I freak out because I can see my bone because the boat trailer hit my shin so hard. That happened to me, by the way. I want there to be bad consequences when I fuck up and I don't understand the system that I'm in. For instance, if I'm so fucking stupid that I don't even know what F equals MA means, and I don't know how to calculate for F equals MA in a 3-dimensional space, let alone a 2-dimensional space on a piece of paper, I should probably be served negative consequences by Nancy Pelosi and the Rockefellers and all these other people who want to categorize me as a fucking farm animal. Bingo! That's where you're at. That's where you are. Okay, so and they have categorized you. You're obviously not one to want to help solve big problems if you can't even figure out F equals MA during your lifetime. I'm just being blunt. That's how you calculate for the way that objects move. And believe it or not, objects are all around us. Now, I don't sit here and calculate F equals MA all the time, but at least I know what the fuck it means. At least I know, like, okay, but the point is, take a physics class. Okay, so I'm going to reiterate that again. You are a fucking retard. Take a physics class. Then take another one. Then take another one. Otherwise, just get lost. I can't even talk to you guys. I can't even communicate with you guys because it's like you don't even believe in reality. You don't even believe in what we're really in right now. You don't even get it. And so the point is, the propulsion against ether, which is what UFOs would use and what Tesla's engine that generated electricity, it would have generated the electricity because of the flow of ether through it. Just like if you park a helicopter underneath a waterfall, it will spin the blade, and then you could actually gather electricity. If you attach an alternator to the helicopter blade, same concept here. There's ether flowing by, folks, but neither here nor there. I'm not going to get into details because I think it's kept classified and sacred for a reason, because I'm on a planet with 8 or 9 billion people who think it's not their responsibility to understand how things work, but we all need to listen to them speak. Isn't that fun? Do you want to hear how the gold system works? Why your system sucks, Brandon? Yeah, sure thing. Lay it on me. So it's just, there comes a point where I have to step back and ask myself, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Because I was trying to take down the Nancy Pelosi's and Biden's and Wall Street and Rockefellers and Rothschilds and free you guys. But if you read the story about Moses, when he ran away with everybody and parted the Red Sea and ran into the wilderness, he quickly became disgusted with the people that he thought if he freed them from the evil Pharaoh, that life would be great. He quickly came to discover, this is in your scriptures, guys, that he was dealing with a bunch of jackfucks. And you know what Moses ordered everybody to do? Not everybody, but a bunch of them, to kill themselves. And you know what your Bible says he did that happened next? They killed themselves. Now, before you guys think that all those jackfucks were so obedient to Moses that they said, Moses ordered us to kill ourselves. So, aye, Captain. Except they didn't have guns, so spear, a knife through the gut. Okay, that's what you guys with your low IQs of fucking 60 and below apparently all think when you read that scripture. Moses was so important, and when he told them to kill themselves, they just killed themselves. What you guys don't understand is the real mechanism that Moses ordered them to kill themselves is the same thing that the Jewish elite use against you low IQ pieces of shit today. They create more than one team based on your stupid arguments about Fantasyland bullshit, and then they say, you're not allowed to kill them even though they believe different than you. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is a big deal. This is a big deal. I'm a capitalist. They're a communist. They deserve to die. Oh, you're a capitalist, are you? Yeah, I'm a capitalist. Oh, okay. What is it that you want to invent to earn big bucks? I never said anything about that. Right, because you're not really a capitalist. You don't think it's your responsibility to invent big things, but you want to earn big bucks. So, there's other people who make lots of money without inventing big things for the world. Right. And they have become an unnecessary middleman on the exchange of goods. They're a communist leech. The very thing that you are mad about the communist government doing, they, the individual, have gotten between two different parties and become an unnecessary middleman where they're marking things up. Don't get me wrong, I've marked plenty of things up in my life. That's what the whole car business is about. But the point is, that's what any business is about in general. But if you were to invent a system where the builders of things can easily market to the masses and you eliminate all the unnecessary middlemen, that's capitalism, and all the unnecessary middlemen become unemployed. So when I have these friends where I politely explain to them, you're an unnecessary middleman on this business and I could unemploy you if I release this website to the world tomorrow, and they let it go in one ear and out the other, and they say, no, you can't. Long hair don't care. I don't believe you. I'm not dealing with a capitalist. I'm not dealing with a human being. And so back to the point I was at. If you believe that you are a capitalist, but you don't actually understand what makes a capitalist and a successful capitalist in a true capitalistic society where there's no unnecessary middlemen and they're all eliminated, you would quickly come to realize you're a hypocrite by saying those other people over there need to all die. They're not all communists. A lot of those individuals are capitalists. And you haven't invented a survey yet, because you're not a capitalist, you're a low IQ piece of shit. You haven't invented a survey yet for people to fill out to figure out who's who before you clap for them all to die. Brandon, you should do these things. Right, but the coincidence is you get labeled as being the Antichrist once you do these things. The moment that you're like Jesus on a really big epic scale, using the internet, using surveys, using websites for, what do you call it, teaching people about aether, teaching people about how to make eBay and Amazon more efficient, these marketplaces, the moment that you do all this stuff, you are categorized as the Antichrist, according to every History Channel special, which has a bunch of Jewish people in the credits as the creators. And for those of you who say, well, who cares? That's like creating a special about the anti-Easter bunny if you don't actually believe in the Easter bunny. Who cares? Why would you even possess yourself, your spare time, with trying to invent a thing about the anti-Easter bunny if you don't even believe that the Easter bunny's real? One day the anti-Santa Claus is going to come. And for those of you who have too low of an IQ, Jews don't believe that Jesus was Christ. So why the fuck are Jewish people going out of their way to warn Christians about what the Antichrist is going to be? I don't know, Brandon. Good question. Squirrel. Okay, so you guys don't get to the bottom of any puzzle, but yet you guys think that you deserve victory. Okay? You don't want to ask these questions and solve like a detective. Why is it that they're interested in teaching us about the Antichrist and programming us who the Antichrist is and who the Antichrist isn't if they don't actually believe in him? It's because they're doing it as a tool. They know that there's going to be somebody else who comes along, potentially a Jesus 2.0. I'm not talking about resurrected and dies for your sins stuff. I'm talking about a guy who shows up, cracks whips in the temple, which is what Jesus actually did, okay, and has a problem with the system. Somebody like a Donald Trump, somebody like an Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler didn't hate America. He hated Wall Street. He hated the banking crime families. He hated Paris. He hated the exchange, the Wall Street in Paris. He hated London. He hated the Wall Street in London. He hated the Wall Streets of the world. He didn't hate anything else, but you guys aren't taught that. Oh, so now you're a Hitler sympathizer? No. What I am is, I'm a realist with an IQ over 60, and I actually learn what the fuck's going on this planet instead of just take a fucking History Channel special word for it. I actually dig into things and watch another History Channel special and another special and another special until you start to realize, oh, he wanted to bomb Paris, London, and New York City because he hated the bankers. That sounds like Donald Trump and his friends. But you guys don't have the IQ to understand that. That's why they call Donald Trump the next Hitler. You don't understand it's because it's the world elite and the billionaires. You don't understand why Mark Cuban has a problem with him. You don't understand why Biden and all these guys have a problem with him. It's because they're Wall Street mentality people. Okay? Mark Cuban made one of the most successful trades on Wall Street ever. That's how he got his fortune. It wasn't just the sale of Yahoo stock. It was the way that he did it. Okay? But the point is, hopefully you're learning something, because Lord knows you guys don't talk about this shit. If we elect Donald Trump, everything will be fixed. Okay, show me one invention that Donald Trump has. Donald Trump is good at identifying people who have good inventions and saying that guy's smart, but Donald Trump is not the inventor. So maybe you guys could understand something, that I'm actually an inventor. I have the diagrams and the working websites to prove it. Maybe Donald Trump would like my inventions. Yeah, Brandon, well, that's why you need to get them done. Maybe I've tried to explain to you guys that for me to get my inventions done, I need a human being to talk to show interest in it, because I need to feel that I'm pleasing someone. Otherwise, I get very lonely and sad. I get broken, lonely, and sad. And maybe for Donald Trump to be able to point at my inventions, I have to complete them. I have to put the finishing touches on certain things and get all the patents filed. And maybe I'm telling you guys that if you would help me, I would say that you guys are my clan, and I wouldn't have been able to invent this stuff if it weren't for all of you. But you guys all lack the fucking IQ to understand that. Now, I'm Brandon. We're going to elect Donald Trump, then he's going to fix it all. Donald Trump doesn't invent anything, Jack Fox. He's going to select the person who does invent it. Right. And that's not any of you. That's me. Maybe there's another one out there, just like Tesla and Marconi invented simultaneously. And they both invented radio. Maybe there's another person out there. Yeah, there's probably another person out there, Brandon. Oh, so you're saying you want the other person to make it and not me? Yeah, you've taken too long. You've put way too much time into this. Oh, so since I have 1,000 pages of stuff that's all important that all stacks together, it's just flush it down the fucking toilet, huh? Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, you haven't released anything yet, Brandon, so why? Because I just explained to you there's a prophecy that says if a person does X, Y, and Z, he's the Antichrist, and I want to talk to you guys about this. Yeah, well, that just scares me, and I just want to drink more beer and eat more Doritos. By the way, Brandon, you need to be more like Jesus. You pieces of shit. More like Jesus, like you. Drink beer, eat Doritos, and just be a jackfuck. More Jesus like you. Yeah, I sung him lots of songs and I went to church. I don't know what you did. Yeah, I didn't do that. I never did that before. You got me. You beat me. I know. Me and Jesus gonna be like this in heaven. It's gonna be me and him. We're gonna kill all the Muslims. And it's gonna be great. You guys are trash. I'm sorry, but it's a joke. See ya.